Yali Madad. And if you don't have a question from last week, I don't know if everybody has met Ashraf. She's from Carrollton. She drove all the way over here, and she has a couple of questions that she'd like to ask. And then if anyone else has a question, they can ask as well. Her question is regarding the free will, and not as what free will, but at what stage do we submit our free will to Mola, and then how does it work after that? And once we submit our free will, how does our prayers should follow that or should change? This is a big question and a lot to think about and see how it works. Submitting our free will to Mola does not happen until a mu'min becomes an arif. What does arif mean? Meaning you increase your ranks, and in that hierarchy, on every single level, as you are going from the mustajib, the bottom level. What was the mustajib? Does anybody remember? The very first one on that hierarchy? Someone who say, I don't know and I want to learn. Because until that part, what do you have? You have your free will saying, I do not want to learn. That's your saying. Up until that point. So let's take the example of a child, especially a child going to the यहाँ पर क्या बोलते हैं nursery kindergarten. Okay. So a child don't want to go to kindergarten because he or she is comfortable at home with mother and father. Known environment is a safe environment. She knows where her toys is. She knows where her milk bottle is. Everything is right here. She knows. And she knows if anything happens to me, I can cry. My mom will come and help me. Very comfortable. And mom wanted her to go to school now. What happens? She's crying. She don't want to go to school. She's too young to say, I don't want to learn. But what is she saying? I do not want to change. That's what she's saying. I do not want change. We are those kids at this age that sometimes we say, I don't want to learn. By saying, I don't want to change. What I have and what I know is good enough for me. Or sometimes, even worse, we say, what I know is the best and there's nothing better than what I know. And sometimes we get into that trap that whatever I know is good enough for me and that's it, I'm done. I know the best. And I think we all did that as a children. Our parents wanted to teach us something, our elders wanted to teach us something, and we always thought we knew everything until the very first time we listened to something. And they said, oh, I did not know that part. I thought I knew everything, but this is something new. Okay. So, once a person say, I don't know anything, or I don't know much, or I like to learn something new, the person gets into their hierarchy and comes to a person who has knowledge and then say, okay, I want to know something. What that person did at the very bottom small level, he or she surrendered her free will. What was her free will? By saying that I don't know something, give me something. She gave the free will to the other person by saying, all right, this is my 1 hour, teach me something. She just surrendered her free will. But you see, this is a very small level. बहुत ही छोटे लेवल पर है अभी तक. And when she brought the question, she was talking about submitting free will, कि जहाँ पर जाकर you should not have to say anything to Malapa, because what you're saying, you do whatever you want. You are in total control. You guide me. That is on very much on a higher level. So we're going to go step by step and learn how do we submit our free will and when do we keep our free will. One time a Momin came to Imam Jafar Sadiq and said, Ya Mullah, where does my free will starts and where does my free will stops? And Mullah said, raise your one hand. He raised one hand. Mullah said, raise your other hand. He raised the other hand. Mullah said, raise your a leg. He raises one leg. Now he's standing on one leg. Mullah said, raise your second leg. He didn't. He said, Mullah said, that's where your free will starts. Do we see that? That's where your free will starts. Because at that point you knew from your intellect that if I raise my second leg, I'm going to fall. So even when you surrender your free will, there is a point at where you say that I need to use my intellect before I fall down. Now come all the way to Malapa. Malapa says, the knowledge that you receive, and we are talking about circular worldly knowledge, it is there for you to learn and understand your tariqah. They don't teach us our tariqah in school. What do they teach us in our school? Critical thinking. Right? Critical thinking, that's what they're teaching us. Are we using their learning, their critical thinking, to learn about our tariqah? If we are not, what we are doing is, we are buying something and we are not utilizing that thing fully. The example is just this TV. We have this TV, we know what this TV can do for us. This screen right there, this monitor can do for us. But we don't know how to use it. We have to get Zara to wake up and show us how to use it. Right? So, even if we have our free will, even if we have our critical thinking, the knowledge, if we don't know how to use it, what's going to happen? We're going to use it, but only 5, 10, 15, 20, 50% at very minimum level. But as a joke, I always say that we are Kathiawadi, we are Gujarati speaking people. We never invest $1 unless we know we're going to get $1 back.
Or more.
Or more. Right? That's us. We don't give $1 to get a 50 cents worth of merchandise. When we have our free will, when we have our knowledge, when we have our critical thinking, when we have our intellect, shouldn't we not be utilizing that to 100% and then some? Okay. If you understand that part, now let's come back to free will, because that is our subject. So, in a worldly manner, पहले दुनिया की बात करेंगे, then we will talk about in religion. In worldly matter, we're supposed to be होशियार, smart, clever about doing things. In worldly matter, okay? When we say clever, we don't mean cleverly cheating somebody. We're not talking about that.
Not cunning, but clever.
Cleverly be smart in your education, in your buying things, in your business, and whatever you may do worldly wise. Alright? You're supposed to use your knowledge and your free will to do what you need to do. Free will plays very, very important role in our tariqah also. we remember we had displayed one of the Farman in one of our class, in which it was a Betul Kyal Farman. Imam 11 times in one single paragraph, in this one small Farman on the Betul Kyal, he is asking Jamaat, are you here with your free will? Are you here because you wish to be here? Was this your will? Did somebody push you to come over here? He's asking all this 11 times. What he's saying? If this is not your free will, it's okay. You don't need Isme Azam. But when we went to get a bowl, what did we say? Ya Mola, I need something more than what I don't know. I wanted to know more about my tariqah. I wanted to increase my rank. I wanted to do ibadat. By saying all this, you surrender your free will. Still at the initial level. Where does your second free will come? Now you have the ball. To use it or not use it, there's your second free will. Use it or not use it, there's your second free will. Third free will. Do you use the Isme Azam every day or once in a while? Do you go to Jamaat Khana to use it, or do you stay at home and use it? Do you see this? This is all your free will. Even that you had surrendered your free will to Imam, but you still have a free will to continue or not to continue. Alright? Now, let's say you have decided to go on a second level, and you are Mustajib, from Mustajib to Mazun, Mazun to Dai, where Imam has put us. Imam has put us at the level of a Dai. What is the function of a Dai? To do dawat. To tell somebody about our tariqah, our religion, or as per this present Imam's Farman, if you have something, if you have a know-how, if you have an education, if you have a money, you're supposed to help others by lending a hand. That is our job today. Because per se, dawat is not open. Meaning we don't go out and convert people into Ismailis. We don't do that. So what do you do with this title, Dai? First, you understand what Dai means. Dai is a person who has complete knowledge of our tariqah. Complete. Are we Dai or we are not Dai? That is again comes free will. Imam has given you title to be Dai. Are you Dai or you are not Dai? That's your free will. And how do you utilize this free will? By learning about your tariqah, about your religion. You learn. Once you learn all of that, what do you do with it? You give to others. Now you see, first free will, you are learning. Then again you have a choice, you have a chance to use your free will by giving or not giving. So the knowledge, and I'm talking about the true knowledge, I'm not talking about the information, okay? So the problem with the information is, today there's so much information, we don't even know what to do with it. And information, all the information is not good. We should not waste our time on those information which does not concern us. We cannot use it. We should not be using those information. There's just too much. So what do? From information we extract knowledge. So example of information is like an entire city or entire state. Let's say the Texas is information. The knowledge is the size of a Dallas. Very small compared to state of Texas. But then again, Dallas is too big. That's just too much knowledge. There's just too much knowledge. अब उस नॉलेज में से हमको क्या निकालना है? Wisdom. Now the example of a wisdom is a house. Compared to the city and compared to the state, do we see how little wisdom is? Both ही कम. And that's what we should be looking for, and that's what we should be learning. Remember, when we do the business, we do all kind of research and we invest our dollar at the right place. Where do you want to use your dollar? At the information level? If you stretch your dollar at the information level, it's not going to go too far. It's just too much information. What is this dollar? That's your time. Remember Khoja Kathiawadi? He never invests his dollar. He never invests his time for the information. Because the dollar will not go too far. We don't have enough time for all the information available today. So what do? We go for the knowledge. Then we come to find out, even knowledge is just too much. Our dollar will not be able to stretch. We don't have enough time. So what do? Being an intellectual person, being a smart person, be a clever person, we go directly for the wisdom. We buy the business that we know for sure is going to make us money. So what do? We go for the wisdom, which we will know will benefit us in this world and the other world. Now where do you get a knowledge like that? The knowledge that will help you in this world and the next one. Tell me, Dr. Saiba, can you take your doctorate degree to the other side? Another world? No. And how long did it take you? 24 years? So, what do? You take that wisdom, the knowledge, that you can use it here and there. And that's where your free will start to work. Once you understand that part, that I am getting a knowledge, I am getting that wisdom or the words that will help me here and the other side. And then what do you want to do? You want to get more of it. And you want to get more of it, and you want to get more of it. Because now you have found a place where you can invest your time, and you want to utilize that time. You want to stretch your dollar so you can get more of that understanding of the tariqah and the religion and the bowl and the ibadat and everything we can do. So it may benefit us here and it may benefit us there on both sides. Alright. So we are at the level of Dai. So when you surrender your free will at the level of Dai, you're saying, I wanted to have all the knowledge that Dai should have. So knowledge is on 4 levels. And we're going to cover a couple of different ways of the knowledge, okay? So first, what do? You listen to the knowledge. Second, you understand the knowledge. Let's say you listen but you don't understand. Then there's no use. You understand the knowledge. Then you apply that knowledge. Let's say you listen to knowledge, you understand knowledge, but you never apply. What's the use? Again, I'm going to pick on you. She got a doctorate degree, but she never practiced. What did she just do? She just wasted her 24 years. We receive all this knowledge. We understand this knowledge, but if we never apply, you just wasted your Sunday morning sleep. That's not smart. Smart thing to do would be to get the knowledge, understand the knowledge, apply the knowledge. Once you apply the knowledge and you have the experience, then comes the fourth part. You give the knowledge to somebody else. Because remember, you're supposed to give something to somebody. That was the role of a Dai. What was the role of a Dai? To give to something to somebody. Now you are completely in the role that Imam wanted you to be in. It's not that me, I wanted you to be in. It was not my parents either. It was Imam. They wanted us to be in that role, but he did not take our free will. He gave us the role and said, okay, this is your role. This is your job. If you like to do it, welcome. If you don't like to do it, I'm okay. Imam does not need our help per se. It is us helping ourselves by helping Imam. So when we help ourselves, Imam also helps us learn all this, find this knowledge and apply this knowledge and then share this knowledge. He helps us with all of this. Alright. Well, again, once you start giving that knowledge, another free will stands up and you get a challenge. Who do you give this knowledge to? Who do you give this knowledge to, right? You cannot give this knowledge to a person who's not willing to give their free will. Can you? So now free will works on two different levels. Your free will to give and the person free will to take. Now we have divided this free will into two. Because it takes two for knowledge to be given and knowledge to be learned. Free will. We cannot take their free will. So a person who says, and sometimes you have to act like a mother who's dragging the child to kindergarten. Because the child does not know what is good for her. So what does mother do? Take that child. But when does that child appreciate the mother? After 24 years, she understood that if my mother had not done that 24 years ago, I'd still be playing with my toys, I would have no function in this world, and then eventually one thing which is definite, I would die and the purpose of the life is gone. If that is the purpose of the life, to play with the toys and then die? No, it was never their purpose. Purpose was to improve yourself, improve your life, and improve the life of the others around you. That was the purpose. And you cannot do that unless you do two things. First, say, I need the knowledge, and then surrender your free will and say, please give to me. And that's where the journey starts. Okay. Second part of our question was, once you say I surrender my free will to Imam, let's say you're saying, Mullah, I give you my free will completely. What kind of prayer should I be offering at that point? You know, right now we go to Jamaat and we say, Mullah, give me this, Mullah, give me this, Mullah, help me with this, Mullah, help me with this. Once you surrender your free will, then you should not have to ask for any of that. Sounds like it, okay? I'm not saying you should not. It sounds like it, that once you've surrendered your free will, you should not have to do anything. No, you still have to do something. Remember the second leg? Remember the second leg? Your free will was only to raise this one leg. This second leg still has to be on the ground. You still need that free will. Okay? And what does this free will do? This one left out of four. This free will. So now you have to ask Molapa that Molapa, understand that I have submitted my free will. And look at how the prayers will change, okay? Before you were saying, Molapa, give me this. Now your prayer will be, you still have to pray. Molapa, give me this if you think it's good for me. You see how the prayer changes? You still have to pray. Molapa, give this to me if it's good for me. Molapa, give to me when I am ready for it. Don't give to me before then. Just give to me when I am ready. Molapa, if you give this to me, give me the tawfiq, ta'id, himmat and yari so I may utilize this, whatever that may be.
So give me the guidance, give me the courage and strength, acceptance and your help to take that. And in addition to that, when we say that, please give me this if you think it is right for me. And if we do get it, we say shukr alhamdulillah. And if we do not get it, we don't complain about it, because it was good for us to not get it. So we remember our prayers. So it's extremely important that when we pray, we have to remember it is His blessings that something comes into our life and we love it, we like it, and we accept it. But if it doesn't come, it is okay to say, whatever your will is, Mawla, I surrender. I will not complain. Though we wanted it so badly, but we don't complain. We say, okay, Mawla, I accept. Thank you for whatever you are giving me. Because we do not know His wisdom. Remember, here we are talking about learning the wisdom. It is His wisdom, and His wisdom is above all else, right? So we just we stay in acceptance and say, whatever is your will, Mawla, it is my desire, I'll accept that.
Subhanallah. So, praying never goes away. Asking never goes away. The form changes. So before we were like a child. What does a child say? I want that. I want candy. I want toys. I want this. I want this. I want new car.
Temper tantrums.
Right? That's right. But what happens when you become adult? Okay, I accept whatever. You know, Mullah, if it's not my time, I can wait. If it's good for me, give to me. Give to me when there is a time, when there's the right time. Prayer changes. Now there is a level, and I use the word Arif. Arif is a moment who has received the complete marifat. And now here we comes on the fourth level again. At the level of Shariat, we were doing what it was told. Level of Tariqat, we were taught what we were doing. And you decide where you are, okay? We don't need to judge anyone. You decide, are you level of Shariat, you doing what you are told? Or are you receiving the knowledge so you may know what you are doing? Tariqa meaning teaching your tariqa, whatever you are doing.
How does?
But Imam had told us that we are at the level of hakikat, the truth. Are we level of hakikat or not? We need to decide this. Are we at the level of Shariat? I would say most of people still are at the level of Shariat. Most of the people, they don't know what they are doing. They're just doing it as they are told. Right? But Imam said our tariqa is at the level of hakikat, at the truth. And what we are talking about? At the level of marifat. At the level of marifat, where you surrender your will completely. Meaning, no more dua. Now what do you do? How do you get there? And what are you doing at this level? You have passed the Shariat, the Tariqat, the Hakikat, the truth. Meaning you know the truth of everything that you do. Everything that you do. Now you are at the level of Marifat. Just for a short, level of Marifat meaning you have become one with the Imam. That is the level of Marifat. Once you become one with the Imam, anything and everything you do will be at the will of what? And whom? Imam. What happened to your free will? There's no more free will. Because you submitted your free will, your soul, your I, the me, everything to Imam. Now you're still living in this world, but anything and everything you do, you're doing with the will of the Imam. So now you have a will, not a free will, a will, but this is a will of Imam. So now, whatever you do, your food, your sleeping, your eating, your talking, whatever you're doing, everything is with the will of the Imam. And at that level, we can say that I have surrendered my free will completely. At the different level, we were surrendering our free will, but we never surrender our free will completely. So what happened to this leg, the fourth leg, fourth piece of the limbs? What happened to it? Now you have jumped into the nur of the Imam. You don't need to stand on the ground anymore. So you don't need this one anymore. And that is your free will that you use to do that also. You went from level 1 to 2 to 3 into the 4. And that is your complete answer. If anyone has any question or comments, please go ahead.
So I'd just like to add one thing, the way he said, Tawfiq, Ta'id, Himmat and Yari. Courage is so important when you are praying with understanding. Because it is very hard when we want something so badly, we desire so much and we work hard. We struggle, we work so hard, but we don't get it. At that time, that courage comes into play. That we have to have courage to accept His will. It's not easy to keep walking on this path and elevate our ranks. It takes a lot of willpower to accept and to say, Maulapa, I surrender. I surrender. It's not a lip service. It is truly submitting your emotions, your hard work, losing a business. Take any example. Anything or everything, you just stay in acceptance and you do Giryazari, you can cry. You complain to Maulapa, I did work hard. But I understand you are seeing what I am not able to see. But you are not supposed to complain to anybody. No second being that you complain. You just say to him that, Maulapa, I accept. Give me the courage that I can, go through this time with pride, right, and not complain.
With humility.
With humility, yes, with humility. That's a better word, yes. Thank you.
Subhanallah. Ji.
If no question, what was the other question?
So is it okay to have a conversation with?
Oh, it is.
In your prayers, have a conversation that.
So
I'm kind of mad at you because.
Oh yeah.
You let me down. I worked so hard. Why?
You know what? It is so interesting you asked, because that is actually what Girya Azari is. So last week when Mishan was here and I was telling her that Barkat Sahib just demonstrated the way you do Girya Azari, it felt very awkward at that time. The way he was talking was very uncomfortable. It was very uncomfortable because how do you talk to Mawla like that? But we call him our friend, our beloved. Who would I complain to? If I'm hurt, if I'm sad, if I lost something very valuable, who will I say it to?
Right.
It's only him.
Spiritual father, right?
He is everything to me. Father, he's everything to me. So they remember we had talked about in the beginning he's my master. Then he's your friend. Then he's your beloved. Then he's like everything. So you call father, that's, I would say it's still below. I'm going to go up, above that. He's everything to me. Who am I going to tell? I have to tell him everything. And when you feel that close to Imam, you would complain and you will say, Malapa, I'm mad at you. I'm really mad at you. Because if I was thinking of this, you could have given me strong thoughts not to do that. Why did I spend so much time, money and efforts, and now you're telling me that I'm not going to get it? Why, Mola Papa? You could have, sent some angel to me to stop me. But then you know what I hear him saying? You would not have learned today what you have learned now. You are more wiser today. Right? Because he will communicate. A time will come when you will hear him in different ways and you will know why what has happened. And I can tell you, each one of us, if we were to go back and think in our life, sometimes we have complained about things. And now when we look back, we understand, oh wow, if I had not gone through that process, today I would not be doing things like this. I would have made that mistake. Because now I know it. So when Imam wants to take us to a direction, let's say to be a dai, to be a complete dai, he has to give us the, help in order to learn the learnings, to be at mustajib level, to become mazoon, and then to become a dai. If we were never given ever an exposure to know and understand, to say, Maulapa, I want to learn this true knowledge. I was never a mustajib. So if he made me a dai today, what does it matter to me? It does not make any sense to me. It's not valuable to me because I don't even know what is this. So he must have exposed us in our lifetime to say, this is the knowledge available. That's how we became mustajib. And then we became mazun when we continued to learn. Today we can say, oh, I understand what does dai means. And I'm aware that I'm a potential dai, but I hope to become a complete dai. And charity begins from home. So first you have to give knowledge to your own self, your own soul. And then you talk to your family, your friends, and then you go to Jamaat. So it matters that we are given the experiences in our life to accept and to become what we are today. Conversation. That's called Girya Azari. So you have to do Girya Azari. In fact, I would highly encourage to do Girya Azari every day. Remember Sultan Shah's farman that at the night time, you check your pulse and ask, did I do good deeds today? What did I do today? If I didn't do good deeds, let me ask for forgiveness. Literally he says, become your own doctor and check your pulse. Meaning that, talk to yourself. How did I spend my day? Did I help anybody? Did remember Maulapa, where his farman is to remember me every 5 seconds. How many 5 seconds did I remember him? Or it was just only going to Jamaat Khana, doing physically whatever I have been told by my parents, and that's it. You ask yourself, and you realize, oh, I did not do. I could have done better. Then you start talking to Maulapa. That's your Giryazar. Maulapa, I do have this knowledge, but look at me. I'm not using it. I'm not applying it. Can you please help me? Why don't you help me? What am I doing not right? Can you guide me? You talk to him and you have tears in your eyes. Remember, Sultan Umar Shah's another Farman Maula says that if a child is crying, mom will run coming to him and pick him up. That's how you should be praying to us. That's Imam's Farman. If a child is not crying, mom will not go to him to feed him. Oh, she's sleeping, he's sleeping. It's okay, she's not hungry yet. But when a child will cry, mom will come running from wherever, whatever. Oh, let me feed her first. Similarly, it's our example of our soul. When we cry and do Giryazari to Malawapa, every night he will be listening to us and telling us what we need to do, helping us, guiding us more. Remember this verse we've talked about, help me so I can help you. If we don't seek help, why would he help? We are working on the divine, right? So yes, it's very important to have conversation every day.
Anything else?
So when we tell free will, that we become Muslim when we get to the Marifat level, because that is when you're submitting your will. Because if you are Muslim, that means that you are submit yourself to the Allah. So is that when you become Muslim? Like if you talk about the true Muslim, something.
Okay.
Before with that, we are just saying it.
Okay, I want to fix that language because over here we have a different kind of people. Somebody probably think that Khojas are not Muslim. I want to fix that language, okay? So,
rephrase it.
Every time you submit your free will, you are saying what? I'm a Muslim. At every single level. Correct? Because the word Muslim is just whoever submit. What about Christian who submit his free will? He's a Muslim. See, we don't understand when we say Muslim or non-Muslim. That's why I say let's not use that word, because if somebody don't understand, they may think that Khojas are non-Muslim. Then we have a problem already. Okay? So at every level that you submit yourself, your free will, what you are really doing is you are step by step going closer and closer to Him by submitting yourself to Him, every level. At the one day, without even knowing it, you will cross the level from Shariat into Tariqat. And then again, you're doing same thing again and again, and one day without knowing, you will cross your level from Tariqat into Haqiqat. And then inshallah one day from Haqiqat into Marifat. But you have to submit on daily basis by saying, Mawla, whatever today brings for me, do it whatever is good for me. Let me do things that you think is good for me. You know, I like this Christian phrase, what would Jesus do? We all heard of it, right? Living in America. What would Jesus do? How would I ask myself, what would I do to make my Imam happy? I know what Jesus will do. He's a prophet. There's no comparison here. What would I do to make my Imam happy today? That should be the question. Not what would Jesus do. What would I do? And that's how you submit on daily basis. Before you do anything, you should ask yourself, is my Imam's happiness in this action I'm taking? Right?
And can
Then,
I just add one more thing? We can also question ourselves whether we are worthy to even be in that position to ask that. Like, what about our worthiness to begin with? You know, in that sense.
So, I mean, if you are saying that as a part of the humbleness, that we are not worthy of it, is good. But if we don't know our worthiness, if we don't know our worth, we are the creation of Allah. We were made with one single soul, the soul of the Imam. I think I'm worthy of anything and everything.
So he calls us Ashraful Makhlukat, the best creation. And then we are being so blessed. Imam says, my beloved spiritual children. Imam, he's the master of Deen and Dunya, right? He tells us, he calls us my beloved spiritual children. Do we not understand that? So last week, I'm going to again quote to Barakat Sahib Gayazari, you know what he said? That when we hear this words that Imam says, my beloved spiritual children, if Princess Zara is princess and Prince Rahim is prince, and they are his physical children and we are his spiritual children. So today you know who you are? Princess Ashraf, Princess Amina, Princess Zara. You know, we are princess and prince sitting here. We are not Tom, Hick and Derry. We are not Tom, Hick, you know. If we are princess and prince, then how should our behavior be? There is no question of worthiness. Yes, there is a question, how do I behave today to please my Imam? So we have to change the way we think, the dialogue we have. You know, when does a person question about the worthiness? It's shaitan. You know why? Because this energy we have, positive, negative, remember he nourishes in negative environment. Due to any reason, if we are questioning our worthiness, he's flourishing. The more doubts he'll put that we are not worthy, we are nothing, and the more he flourishes. The more we doubt our actions, our attitude, our efforts and everything. When we talk in a way saying that Mawla, humility, I am not worthy, I know for sure. I do it for the sake of doing it, but you know what? I believe in you, that you can do miracles. If you think that there is a fraction of sincerity in my thoughts, in my actions, please Mawla bless me. Please Mawla give me success, because I truly need this. But if you think it is right for me, if you think that this action of mine, this success of mine is going to take me away from your love, Mawla, give me the courage to accept your decision. Help me to stay on the path, because all those worldly things I'm doing to live a happy, comfortable life, to do what I'm supposed to do, to give the duties to my family members, but I love you the most. I need you to know that, and I need you to remind me of that whenever I doubt due to any reason. See, the language changes. So we are saying, we are still feeling unworthy. Okay? We still do not feel confident in ourselves. We still doubt ourselves. But you know what? Who did we make our partner? Imam. Now, he'll watch us over to see how are we able to fulfill whatever we are doing. He will change our direction to do whatever we are doing in the worldly life and take us to success where we'll remember him and be successful in this worldly life. We need success in this world. We need worthiness in this world to survive. Otherwise, We are unhappy people. And our religion is of happiness. We should be happy. We should be celebrating. Then why do we feel down and unworthy and sad? We don't have to. We don't have to. It's just because of the dialogue. Our conversation has to be such to Mola that Mola, if you have made me princess, let me see it, please. Ask him. He's my father. I can ask him. If you are telling me I am princess, show me how am I princess. Make me feel that I am princess. I don't ask for jewelry and clothes and big house. I'm not, I understand these are worldly matters. Let me feel it spiritually. So I feel happy in my spiritual life. So I can go through the troubles of the physical life I am going through. And Maulapa, if you are Deen and Dunya ka Malik, give me a little bit comfort in physical life too. Make my life easy. Give me time so I can learn your knowledge. All these are okay to talk to him. Conversation like that. And he's saying, ask me whatever you want. If you don't ask, how can I give? That's what he says in Quran. So we got to ask, right? But if we think, Mola, you know everything, I don't need to ask. That doesn't work. For everything we have to ask. If I need water right now, I have to stand up and go to water to get it. That's what Mola says. Right? If you need something, you need to get to the water. Imam says you can take the horse to the water, but you cannot force the horse to drink the water. If I'm not willing to take my part of free will, I will not get it. So every one of us has to ask whatever we want in our life. But it's the way which changes with the true knowledge.